Before we begin this episode, I just want to say congratulations to Alexa Neal for winning the contest in June. We just had a contest of becoming a supporter. Thank you so much for becoming a supporter, Alexa Neal. And just wanted to thank you. And you are the winner of this contest. You were randomly selected. So I will be getting in touch with you. If you do not hear this, I still will be getting in touch to give you the prize, that $100 that you won for the month of June. Today is July 1st, and we will be going into the episode. Once again, congrats to our contestant that was able to win the contest for the month of June. It was just something fun, an incentive that I wanted to make for the supporters out there, people who not only listen to this podcast, but felt the need to donate, be it as little as $1, $5, anything that they felt the need to give. So thank you so much. You are much appreciated. And so as a token of my appreciation, I'm going to be sending Alexa that money that she won. But to get into the episode here, you may have to go it alone. There are often times that on your journey, you may just have to go it alone. You know, it depends on where you want to go and why you are going in the first place, right? If your mission is to ascend for personal gain, that's something different entirely. But if your mission is to help others, if your ultimate mission is to spread love and to be an impact to other people, sometimes you may have to go it alone. You know, being out here in California, I've found it my mission. I've claimed it. I've put my flag in the sand saying that it is my mission to allow the child, the inner kid within me, to impact the lives of others, the lives of this generation and the next. And that's been something that I've been actively doing, you know, just allowing the inner me to not be the enemy. You know, getting in tune with the inner me and allowing it to inspire others. Because I'm daily inspired. But sometimes you must be the inspiration. Not just your own inspiration either. They say that the way to spell leader is EXAMPLE, right? We lead by example. So on your journey, your walk in life, you may have to be the pioneer. You may have to be the one that leads the charge, the one on the front lines, the guinea pig, the one to test things out before your comrades, you know, get a crack at it. Before everybody else tries it, you might have to be a lone wolf. But are you afraid of being a lone wolf? Are you afraid of the dark? One of my favorite movies of all time, Chronicles of Riddick. The character, he always coins the phrase, "You're not afraid of the dark, are you?" Now, of course, he has an advantage. He has a unique ability of eye shine, where as a Furian, he's able to see things, and not even as a Furian, because he got that ability for doing a favor and a pack of menthols, a favor for somebody down in Butcher Bay, but that's the whole Riddick mythology. But he got a shine job done on his eyes so he can see in the dark. And so he taunts his foes, his enemies, saying, "You're not afraid of the dark, are you?" Knowing good and well that they can't see in the dark and he can. So that's different, right? But at the same time, it's linked. It's not. It doesn't have to be. What would you have to do to be able to see where other people don't? To see the things that the normal, common day, everyday person is unable to perceive or even, conceive of. What would you be able to see? What things would you have to do to get that sight, to have the eyes that see? You know, my friend, I haven't even met him personally, but Brother Omar, Mr. Devanir, whose podcast is Mind, Body, Soul, that's MINDBODISOL. Go check out his podcast. Plenty of wonderful content on there. My brother on Mind, Body, Soul, he once said on one of his podcast episodes that always stuck with me. He said, "I'll go to the darkness for you." Maybe you might have had to been there, you know? It's one of those things you probably had to listen to the episode to really understand where his mind and his head was at, and his space and his spirit were when he said that. But that just hit me, you know? It's okay, he said, I'll go to the darkness for you. I'll do that for you so that you can see the light, right? I'll go to the darkness for you to bring light to you. I'll be the one to do it. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you. I'll do that for you. It still makes me laugh because, that takes tremendous courage, right? But you can be that person for another person. Before you bring light to others, perhaps you could be the one that goes to the darkness. You could be the one that has to traverse those valleys, the cliffs, the caverns, the caves, the crevices, every nook and cranny that people are afraid of, that fear stops people in their tracks. You could keep going. There is a price to be paid for freedom, but there's also a price to be paid for knowledge. Who says there's not a price to be paid for enlightenment? For in the pursuit of knowledge, we learn something every day, but in the pursuit of enlightenment, we lose something every day. So what are you prepared to lose to be enlightened? What are you prepared to sacrifice, prepared to give up for the attainment of something greater? Now that is a question I ask you, my friend. For a question that always stuck with me from a Batman episode on Batman the Animated Series. He went wits with the Riddler, and he had a riddle at the end of the episode, and he asked, "What is a good night's sleep worth?" Now that's a riddle for you. What is the cost of a good night's sleep? What is a good night's sleep worth? Wow. Powerful, right? Now you could take this in many, many ways. The way that I'm thinking in my mind right now is, I don't want to go to my deathbed or even my death period, for we all must go someday. I don't want to go with regrets. I don't want to go leaving things on the table thinking that I could have done so much more. No, I'd rather not live like that. I'd rather live knowing that I gave it my all. I gave it everything. I tried everything for the attainment of a life worth living. And not just for me, but for my family, for my friends, for the people who believe in me. The people who believed in me when even I didn't believe in myself. What sort of sacrifices do I need to make for the attainment of a life like that? Now that's a riddle for me. But I want to leave you with this, to let you know that you're not alone. But in the attainment of your glory, your victorious triumph, you may have to go it alone. You may just have to be the pioneer, the explorer. You may have to be the lone wolf for a time. And it won't be forever. Nothing is forever. Nothing is permanent. It's all impermanent, right? But don't be surprised if you may have to give up your comfort zone for the attainment of your greatness. It's so ironic, I talked to my friend Lamar, and he told me that often people, the very things that we want are comfort and security, not realizing that it's comfort and security that we must sacrifice for the attainment of the very things we desire. So powerful, so ironic. It's crazy. The very things that we want are the very things that we must sacrifice for a time to get what we want. But many of us won't do that. We won't make that choice. It's a tough choice, especially if you've lived a certain way. Being in America only wants me to travel. It only makes me want to travel even more to see the whole world. There's a whole world out there. There's other people that I know don't think like me, that think differently. I want to learn what it's like to experience other cultures, other places. But that's a whole nother episode. For now, I would just like to say that you can have anything that you want in this life. Anything. But you can't have everything. It's a lesson that I've still been learning. Realize that you may have to go it alone. But in going it alone, embracing that dark part of you, the shadow self, you may find the light that you were looking for at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for listening to Jerome Shaw. This has been TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast, here in moonlit Baldwin Park, California. The open palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. And I do pray that you received a very important message today, and that if you feel so inclined, if you feel so inspired, if you feel so rejuvenated, revitalized, resonating with this message, if you gain value, please consider supporting this podcast by opening your browser now to anchor.fm/jshaw, that is JSHAW, and just dropping a tip. Could be $1, $5, even $10. Whatever you would give your waiter or waitress or bartender that gave you value, that you really enjoyed. And if you have just a moment of time still while you're listening, while I have you here, why not give this a good rating on whatever platform that you are choosing to listen to it? And that is much appreciated, my friend. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, may you have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Take care.